Hello everybody, we are back again. I hope you can hear me properly. I wiggled the cord, which is our only fight against it not working, I guess. So I did a very quick rough sketch because I did a bunch of the thumbnails before the stream started to try and find out what I wanted to do. And yeah, this is what I landed on. I want to keep the backgrounds as simple as possible. We're going to be trying to draw them in kind of like a Redwall art style, which if you're not familiar with it, it is a book series. A very fantastic book series that I love a lot. So basically we are drawing them as regular animals, but standing up and with weapons and clothing a little bit. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into it. Thanks. So I'm gonna start out by defining these poses a little bit better. Because they're a little bit rough, and I'm gonna try and keep in mind that I'm not drawing them in my usual art style, because I already wanted to jump ahead with drawing the usual hazel head shape, which is not actually super deer-like. So let's maybe more of this. I'll just keep it simple for now, but just so I'm in the right headspace for the shapes. Someone should draw Graycove characters as invincible characters. That's funny. Oh yeah, do you think you're in any position to talk back to me? Whelp has become common vernacular for Pepper. Okay. Just gonna start with the body shape quickly. Thankfully, deers are kind of just rectangles with legs, so that makes this first part pretty easy. The hard part is, if we're following them just being animals standing up, she would not have thumbs. That's okay. We will do our best to make these look not horrible. And because we are following animal anatomy, they're gonna have the legs that I never draw. We're gonna be doing our best. Or at least I haven't in a while. I don't know if I like this so far, but that's okay. My Canadian friend said, don't ever come to Canada if you ever want to buy a new game. It's dire. I am not aware that that's an issue. I feel like it's the same as buying a game in the US, but to be fair, I've never bought a game in the US. I've never been to the US, so I don't know. New games cost like 100 Canadian. Depends on the game, but... Okay. I'm just gonna start with the base poses for now and then worry about what they're wearing after. So let's do Russell next. Yeah, like a popular new game is like $80 to $100, more than that if it's like one of those like extra packages with like all this bonus content and all that garbage. Like I usually just wait for sales anyways. Yeah, I never really decided what Russell's doing over here. I kind of just drew him like this, where they're all kind of like, or these two anyways, are like preparing for a fight kind of body language, I would say. So let's do something similar for him, I think. Let's change this face, it's kind of looking up. Maybe he's looking up at Hazel. Something like this. I just want to correct you and Jasp that I didn't draw the griff chair. It was my dear friend Neon, and I just helped her touch it up and add funny details. We did it after reading Graycove first time. I don't know, Crispy. I don't know if I believe you. I appreciate the $10. That feels like something someone who drew the griff chair would say. Joined for Redwall. I love Redwall. Same, dude. I did a drawing similar to this years ago when we had a D&D group that was doing like a Redwall campaign, and I drew a couple of the characters that we were playing. So it's been a long minute, so I might have to make a bunch of changes and like backtrack a bit, but I'm gonna try and trust the process as much as I can. Russell's facial expression reminds me of the album cover for Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. I mean, I haven't heard of that, I'll have to look it up after. Oh damn, Russell's cute AF already. Thank you, thank you. Okay, maybe he's like reaching back to grab like a knife or something. Maybe he has like a knife on his belt. For occasional iced coffee. Thank you, Dr. Tro. We appreciate it. Something like this. What should we be doing with this other hand here? It feels weird to just have it down, but I guess that works for now. Hey, I actually have a question about Russell because I'm writing a new and improved Graycove story. So long as it isn't a spoiler, I'm happy to answer. $5 for occasional boiling water. Thank you. Boiled water for Marshall like an hour ago. It was for coffee. Yeah, I'm drinking coffee right now. I just get so sleepy around 8 p.m. because I apparently am an old woman. So I always have to have a coffee before we stream. Also, yeah, Crispy, please stop sending us money. We really appreciate it, but you've sent us a lot. Why am I starting with the eyes? That's stupid. Shape. How much has Crispy sent? I'm not entirely sure, but it feels like a lot. Whenever I specifically play It Takes Two with my friend, I fall asleep. Weird. Jasper and I tried playing that for a bit, but we're not good at keeping up with like multiplayer games. Like staying on track. I think the longest game we've played together was like Minecraft, and it was only because we were doing like the long distance thing. Unsurprisingly, the actual gameplay is pretty boring. I mean, I thought it was fun. I'm already kind of not liking this, but I'll just keep working. I missed it. Is Russell in any way clingy with Herb? I'm having difficulty writing his interactions with Herb since we don't have much with them together. No, I don't think Russell... I think if Russell were clingy to any family member specifically, it would have been Daisy. But he, at this point in his life, he is very independent, like exactly what Jasper said. He likes to go out on long trips by himself, or at least like just with Beatrice. So I would say no. I don't think he's super clingy in that way. His head is turning this way. This would be kind of a like this. So let me just quickly look at some Redwall art to see how they draw arms. Okay. They're pretty close to like the animal proportions, so I guess it'd be like larger. This is way too long. Something like this. Russell's not quite 35, but close. Y'all just realized my catnip plant is blooming. They do that? Yep. I had one a couple of years ago. Yeah, catnip is like a mint. You can dry the leaves and use them for tea. And they have a similar taste to peppermint. Catnip is a plant? Yes. I've been writing Russell is very observant about everything around him. Yeah, that sounds accurate. Catnip isn't made of cats. You ate catnip? I mean, I drank catnip, but yeah. And it was off of my plant. It wasn't like I bought just like catnip meant for a cat and then drank it. I thought there wouldn't be a stream more. No, we're just pausing on the comic, because we had, like, you ate a cat, you monster. We had a bunch of family stuff happen all at once, and like more stuff happening throughout the month. And then we might go on a trip at the end of August, beginning of September. So if I can't catch up on some of my work, the pause might be a little bit longer, but it should be okay. I don't know how I feel about this, but it's okay. We'll keep going. Yeah, I don't know why I said might. We are going on a trip. Jasper's in the middle of planning it out. So apparently when I was in Peru, I saw the mountain that was the beginning of the river that leads all the way to the Amazon. That's cool. His legs feel too small. Breaking news, Pepper getting shot for calling me 47. That's so funny. Leg extension, yeah. Oops. I like these. I know what to do. Okay. Oops, hold on. And I think we extend this leg out so it's bracing a bit more. Something like this. And this one, go back, I think, just a little bit. I don't know. Let's tell. Okay, should be about here, and it'd be coming up like this, because that is a threat display. Wait, what? Like solid Marshall versus liquid Marshall? Where did you get that from? Oh, hey, liquid Marshall. Okay. My Marshall is the plasma Marshall? I'm very confused. Okay, anyways. Moving on. Where did that reference picture go? There it is. States of matter, get it together. Yeah, I get that. Why am I being brought into it? Time crystal Marshall. Okay. Anyways. This here is facing forward. It's paying attention to Hazel. This one is going to go back. It is paying attention more to their surroundings and what is possibly behind him. So try not to draw ears the way I draw them every time. Something like that. And X. Okay. Not a bad start. down even further. Take this down. I'm going to start drawing their gear on top of them. So I decided, okay, I once drew what I was going for, realistic Griff in like full armor in like a winter setting. I'm looking at it now and I am not super happy with it. There are some changes that I would make, but it's fine. But I'm going to draw him in the same armor that I drew in that. Because why come up with new armor when I have old armor? So we're going to start with this scarf thing that I gave him. Item on top. I probably wouldn't be able to turn his head all this way with the armor that I drew him in, but that's okay. I'm just gonna do my best. He might not be exactly like the old one, but that's okay. New Marshall, you were just a tadpole when you drew that. Leave old Marshall alone. I don't know if the version of me that drew this would be a tadpole, because this was maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 years ago. I love your art style, twin Marshall. A lot of Velcar Thimble fans in the chat. Yeah, you guys really like to connect to just random one-off characters. It's very funny. Okay, I drew before. It kind of has a this shape to it. And there'd be... I don't know a ton about armor beyond just observational stuff, so I'm doing a lot of guesswork with this. So if you're looking at it and you're like, bro, you are doing such a bad job, feel free to call me out. Let me know if I'm like drawing a joint wrong or something. Okay, there would be like an elbow thingy. Kind of does like a this shape, I believe. Kind of like this. Velcar Thimble stole my house from under my feet. Velcar Thimble took my soul. 58-year-old man, by the way. Barry Velcar Thimble is an honest fruit salesman that turns spare fruit into the most delicious wine in all the lands. Part would probably be fabric underneath the armor. And then I drew this one with the breastplate in kind of a this shape. Be kind of something like this, and then there'd probably be a seam right here. So connect like that. He stabbed me with a knife. Something like this. Okay. And then this elbow would be facing more out. So we'll probably see this thing at kind of a this angle. I think. Okay. And then he has gloves. Great. Okay. Yeah, I drew them pretty long too, so I probably would start about here. I guess this is more like an arm brace attached to gloves. I don't know what I was doing when I made this. We're guessing. The seam would probably be on this side. This is just metal, it looks like. And the seam would probably be here. This one should start a bit lower, I believe, than that one. Something like this. Metal. Plastic. Do you think when Foster is really hungry, she just rips off a piece of Stanford's mane and eats it? So Stanford has been dead since the matriarch was a child. There's nothing left of Stanford. Oh, you meant Ruskin? I mean, maybe, but that sounds disgusting. Good enough for now. And then there's like a lower plate. And then there's like, okay. What was I drawing when I did this? Okay, okay. There's like a waist, thingy. I think this would come out like this. And then he has a belt. Would be like here-ish. Why are we bullying this 17-year-old? Who's being bullied? Jasper is literally a 60-year-old minor, guys. Back off. Yeah, there's... I'm sure Jasper's not exactly heartbroken over it, but there's no bullying Jasper in my chat. I don't know what you guys are bullying him about. I'm guessing it's just more age jokes. And there's like a cloth here. And then, because of the Redwall style, we're not gonna give him any leg armor. It's just gonna end with cloth. Something like this. I'm not super happy with it, but it's fine for now. I'm gonna save. I haven't done that in a minute. Just gotta hear what's happening. I don't know what's happening in the chat because I keep looking away for too long. But we're trying to draw the Graycove characters in a Redwall-esque style. Okay. So for Hazel, I had already decided she's wearing like a cloak. So let's just add a little more detail to that. And one hand's kind of tugging the hood back a little bit. Marshall, can I briefly describe how I write Russell without anything spoiler-inducing to make sure I'm not messing up his core personality? Yeah, sure. Marshall, when will the dingo come back? I have no idea. What was the question? Berry question? Ah, okay. Yo, Twin Marshall, what was the longest time it took you to finish an art design? Is Twin Marshall me, or is Twin Marshall the other Marshall that's in the chat, I think? Because I thought I saw them earlier. Because if the question's for me, I once worked on a school mural that took well, we started in this we did it like within the summer. I'm Twin Marshall. Okay. But it took a couple of months for us to finish it. Making a spin-off worthy. We've already planned some spin-offs. So having a whole spin-off for the guy that we designated as Cook feels like a lot. Oh man, okay, if we have the cloak come straight down like it should, then we cover up Russell. And obviously that's not okay, so I'm going to we're gonna move him over. game has a cooking system with Macon though. Nice. Bring ingredients to his stands around the map and he can do stuff for you. That's fun. Okay. And then since Hazel is more of the, like, if we're going by D&D terms, more of the monk of the group, and that she does more like hand-to-hand fighting stuff. So she's not gonna have like armor. Like it kind of is, kind of isn't. She has to be able to move around. Maybe she has light chainmail under that. Yeah, that works. But yeah, for her, nothing too heavy. Her biggest strength in fighting is her speed. So she can't have big clunky armor that's slowing her down. Yeah, something like this. Let's move this. Let's harsher angle. This. Good enough. Maybe like a collar or a shirt poking out. Frankie is objectively baby. Oh, there's a Frankie Wolf official account. That's fun. That looks okay. Should probably still have her necklaces on, so it'll be over the shirt but under the cloak. So kind of peek out. And she's holding a lantern in this hand, so let's give her that. It's so hard to write Russell as a 35-year-old man, because, like, look at him, he's literally just a little fox. Yeah. I suppose Hazel would be depicted as like the sorceress or something with her style of outfit. If we're going with like D&D classes, she's more of the monk because Graycove doesn't have like magic. And she's a puncher. You gotta be in your 30s to properly write Russell. Yeah, apparently not, because we are not in our 30s. Ban yourself. Does Russell have back pain? No, I don't think he would. Okay, that's good for now. And then I don't think I actually decided on what sort of outfit Russell should have. So feel free to throw out some suggestions. If he's pulling a knife out from here, then he has a belt on. And I think a little round buckle would be cute. Maybe tucked up similar to how Jack has his. Little cloak like the nice people from Redwall. Yeah, but I already drew Hazel with the cloak. Give him a roguish outfit. Yeah. I'll do just like a simple tunic for now. Hazel has a long cloak, make him a short necky cloak. I'm not sure I know which one you mean. Like the little, like these? Oh, actually this is super cute. I'm keeping his hood down though because I think it's cute. Ask commercial if Russell dies. No, Russell will be fine. If Russell dies violently, I'm dead. It's not going to be able to read on. Fair enough. Yeah, I think I like his outfit just being like the little cloak thing and this belt. A lot more simple. Okay, now we're going to lower that, lower this even more. And start cleaning these up a bit, starting with giving Hazel a face. If Macon dies, I die. Oh no. You guys take these characters very seriously. There's the face I was using. Okay. Using the tomato paste. I saw Redwall, where's the mouse? That's fair, we haven't drawn any mice. So I guess it's not properly Redwall. The mouse is in Hazel's stomach. She was hungry. Okay. Your nose is kind of sloped down. And we got little chins. And then maybe a bit of a bump. Goes down into the jaw. I swear if Macon dies, I'll spend all of the Corn Cult's budget to bring him back from the dead. I just realized I hear the computer. Pretend you don't. It is far too hot in here for us to put a shirt behind it. I'm already overheating myself. Ugh, that looks bad. Let's try that again. Okay, their nose is kind of coming all the way down. They don't have a huge gap between the edge of their nose and their mouth. Their noses are kind of in this shape. Hazel picks up Ness in hopes of finding a prize among the baby gushers. Again, but with a smaller pen. Yeah, that's better. Ignore what looks kind of like age lines at the moment. I'm just trying to build up the structure of the head so I know where everything is. Loki looks like she's wearing a mask for stealth or something. that last music sounded like various mice crying in agony. I don't like it. Fair enough. Yeah, we did try. We added some more music a few streams ago, and then we got copyright striked for one of them. I don't know which one. So we did try, and then YouTube punished us. Creepy deer eye. Hazel looks so beautiful, low-key. Well, that's good. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but deer noses are a really weird shape. That is kind of hard to draw. This for now, I guess. That is fine, I suppose. Curve it to be a bit more. This eye is too low. That might be what's annoying me. Yeah, immediately a bit better. Okay, I want a very specific pose for the ears, so I think I want to have one forward. I'm looking at a reference photo of a deer, but it's not at the right angle. Oh, this looks good. Yeah, this one will work. Okay. Oh, goodbye, Beluga. Thank you for joining us. Oh, yep, Control S, thank you. Oh, and check your posture. Yeah, I know, I'm sitting really badly right now. Okay. And then the other ear is gonna be going back. I think I'm doing a pretty similar pose on both of them in that they have like one ear forward, one ear back. But to me that makes the most sense of like they're checking for danger. Here that I'm looking at looks super weird. Crispy, what are you going on about? Actually, it looks like most of you are just saying nonsense. Okay. It should be a bit flatter, because gravity should be kind of just pulling it straight down. Turn all of those down just a smidge. Makes it a bit easier to see what I'm working with. I'm trying to give her More deer-like hands. Which is a struggle, I'm not gonna lie. That looks terrifying. Okay, let's just move this a bit. Oop. I did not mean to click that. Marshall and Jasper, I demand you both only consume Graycove media for the next 72 hours. No sleep allowed. I don't make the rules. I just created the universe they were written in. That doesn't make sense. Graycove is cool, I guess. Thanks, Crispy. I'm waiting for Maggie to show up in Graycove though. What chapter will she appear in? Probably none. Yeah, if you get the doghouse person to personally ask us, maybe. Okay, in the reference picture looks like twists. Moonwise don't know y'all, and I haven't spoke to her in months. I've been side questing. Yep, them's the breaks. Oh, well, thank you for joining us, figure skating fanatic. Hopefully you can join us again. Well, the real question is, how is she holding this lamp? Like this, I guess. This looks incredibly silly, but just ignore it. She got funny rubber hooves. Yep, pretty much. Money, that's why. Marshall, speak your words. Funny magic man. Oh, sorry, was I not speaking enough? The weather reminds me of Satan's guest cabin. I'm forcing myself to fold 120 pieces of paper. That's a weird thing to force yourself to do. Okay, I'm not supposed to go there because there's one on each side, but I'm gonna at least tuck it behind there, I think. Marshall and I are actually training to run a 5K too, lol. Yeah, I'm trying to get better at running. I'm not very good at it. Yeah, we went on a run immediately before the stream, which is always such a smart idea. Okay, not horrible so far. Yeah, we're doing like a very easy type of run of just like a little bit of running, a little bit of walking. The issue is even when I was doing sports and like at my physically fittest, I still sucked at running. So now that I have a desk job, I'm even worse at running than I used to be. But I want to be good at running, so I guess I have to do it. And then I'm also trying to work out my arms and shoulders a little bit more because I want to get back into archery. And it'd be nice to raise the draw weight on my bow because it's pretty low right now. It'd be nice to at least get it to the minimum requirement for bow hunting, even if I don't do a ton of bow hunting. Having it there and having the knowledge and the skill to be able to, if I want to, is nice. I mean, I didn't do it professionally. I did it competitively when I was a teenager. So I want to get back into that because I am very rusty. Marshall just does it all. I have a lot of hobbies, but I got into archery when I was 8 because my dad our entire family did archery together. Like, it was like a weekly thing that we did. We would go to like the archery club and shoot. And like I went through the rounds the other day, and I can shoot like the full 30 arrows that you would in in the club setting, because you would shoot 3 arrows per round to do 10 rounds, and then you like keep track of your scores. So I can do the full 30, which is good, but I was getting kind of shaky by the end. I also do archery. My competitive season has started. Nice. That's fun. The last time I shot competitively, I was a teenager, and it was a 2-day competition. So like we would go in the one day, I think we did like 60 shots, and like took our scores, and then we had to go back the next day and do 60 again. And it was halfway through the second day, and my bowstring snapped and slapped me on the arm. And I don't know if you've ever been hit with a bowstring before, but it hurts. And I had a welt there for a while. And I was so livid. I was so mad. Like, I still did okay in the competition because there weren't a ton of people in my category. But like I was so mad, and I was like doing some like the best shooting I've ever done. Like I was getting amazing scores. Like I was just doing super well, and I was so like excited, even if I didn't win, just to see like the score that I was getting. And oh my, I was so mad. I'm still mad about it, obviously. At least it wasn't your eye. Yeah, that's true. It could have been worse, probably. Thankfully, it just hit me on the wrist. And like, it just left me with like a little welt. It wasn't even like that bad. But I was so mad. Marshall has enough eyes to spare. Thanks. this one like a square shape on top. No, I already did it round. We're not doing a square now. Yikes, that sounds painful. It's not great, yeah. There was one time I was shooting at the club, I forgot my arm guard, and I was overextending my elbow when I was shooting, so the string kept slapping me on the arm every time I fired. But I was like, I'm just gonna ignore this and it's fine, and just do this for the 30 shots and then go home. And I had like a huge purple welt on my arm for like a few weeks after that. Like, that was a little silly of me. But I didn't forget my arm guard again after that. So the lesson worked. I knew Marshall had an excessive number of eyes. I could feel the vibe. That's good. I'm just gonna take a quick break. My hand's just seizing up a little bit, and I will be right back. Okay, hand is fine, just need to stretch it a bit. Also, we did talk about cheese after one of the streams, and I think we decided that cheese is just not a thing. Because you. Yeah, they can make nut cheese if they want cheese badly enough. They'll figure it out. No, I think I said I really like cheese, so I wanted cheese to be available to them. But also, objectively, ew. Marshall, do you think different regions in the comic would have different ideals on whether or not cheese is you? Probably, but we're not looking at those regions, so for now, cheese is just you. Marshall, I know I've been talking about moving out of my mom's house for weeks. I finally did it tonight. I'm watching the stream in my apartment. Nice, dude. Your first apartment is always an exciting time. I absolutely despised the first place I rented, but it was like a B&B situation and I had roommates and it was just completely awful overall. And like the lady who ran the place was terrible in many, many ways. But my second apartment, where I lived by myself, I absolutely loved and was wonderful. Is it possible to get very good at art without going to college for it? Yeah, absolutely. I think there are a lot of advantages to taking art classes or going to college, but ultimately there are so many ways to learn to do art now. But like, if you want a free option, it's there. You just need to look for it and have the persistence to keep up with it. Art school is fantastic in that you have deadlines. Like, you have assignments, you have someone telling you what to do, and that can be really good if you're not really sure where to start. Yeah, college helps you get down the fundamentals and forces you to get good, and college also forces you to get fast. When I did my first art program, it was a fine arts course at a college, and you would have to finish a painting within like 4 days, like while doing other classes, while having other homework. They'd be like, yeah, this like 1 foot by 2 foot canvas, fill it. And make sure it's good, because in 4 days we're sitting down as a class and each person is going to go around and critique your painting. So it's also a very humbling experience. And you have to take criticism with a grain of salt and like understanding, and not take it personally. And like that, it can be a very difficult skill to learn, but like it's very good to know, especially if you want to be posting art like online and stuff like that. There's a good chance you're gonna get some mean comments, because they're just mean people. But like, that is how you get better, you know? So anytime I get a critique, especially when it's coming from like a place of like wanting to be constructive and kind about it, I always try to listen very carefully to what that person is saying, instead of just disregarding them and saying like, oh no, like I know what I'm doing, blah blah blah. Because there's a good chance that they are 100% correct and it's something that needs to be fixed. And if you're like me and it's something that you want to do professionally, then, you know, you're going to be working in like a studio setting or something where there's constantly going to be critiques, and like they might actually just like tear you apart verbally. And you can't react to that. Marshall says, even though whenever I make criticisms, they hit me with a cricket bat. Now, I listen to the criticisms, but sometimes I don't agree, and that is also okay. And sometimes I'll warn Jasper ahead of time of like, hey, I've worked on this for like hours and hours and hours, and I'm not willing to make any changes to this, even if there's something off with it. So just don't tell me. Control S plus posture check. Thank you. I live alone because my way of living would be completely indifferent to any roommate I have. Yeah, roommates are not fun. I like to think there's lots of times where I ask Jasper to see what they think and listen to the critique, but maybe I'm wrong. In which case that is something I have to work on. This looks really good so far. I love Hazel's head design. Thank you. Yeah, all in all, college can be great, but if you are just drawing for fun, you can absolutely improve your drawings without going to college, just on your own. That looks super wrong. And it was. Okay, the elbow is here. I know it's not an elbow, but they always make me think of elbows. And the knee should be to about here. This is a really awkward angle to be drawing it at. Don't think that just because someone has a college education in a creative field that they're any better than someone self-taught by default. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like there are a ton of artists in every single creative field, just like Jasper just said, that are completely self-taught. Like every art teacher is gonna have different lessons for you, so like even if, like, let's say you were a more advanced person going into an art class, I feel like no matter what, there's at least one thing you can learn from that class, because every single artist is going to be different. Which also means they're going to all tell you different, like, quote-unquote rules to art, and some of them you can follow, and some of them you can disregard. It's really up to your own preference at the end of the day. I feel very lucky that I was passionate enough about music to know that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, I kind of, like, out of high school, I definitely flip-flopped on what I wanted to do. Like, I was very passionate about drawing from a very, very young age. Like, I remember in, like, grade 1 being very serious about, like, the drawings I was doing in class. And it was just a constant for me. I was always drawing and doing stuff, and taking lots of like art classes at school and in like clubs and stuff. But out of high school, I went into criminology first, and then once I realized that criminology kind of meant either you do way more schooling and become a lawyer or you become a cop, I lost some interest. It was still a very interesting class, and I'm really glad I took it because it was really interesting. But I realized that's not what I wanted to do for work. And then I did psychology for a year or so, and that was also very fun and interesting, but I would have needed like 5 years of serious schooling, and I just wasn't up to it. And yeah, and then I got into art. I think her waist on this side needs to come in just a little bit. thank you for joining us, and Bailey. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Okay, let's do Russell next, because he's adorable. Oops. And we open that. Where is my reference? There it is. Okay, so they have wee little noses. Slope down like this. I'm enjoying so much cartoons lately, I was a little worried I would have a hard time adjusting to drawing, I guess, semi-realism again, but it's not too bad. I think I've been doing all right. Little teeth coming up like this. Yes, itty bitty little teeth. I'll just darken this a bit. Marshall Russell is peak character design. Thank you. Doctor of Math. I'm still anxious music won't be a career, but I'm doing it. Hey, I mean, I was anxious that art wouldn't be a career and I'm doing it. I recommend finding a nice spouse to work while you do something risky like that. That's what my friend Marshall did. Yes, and now I'm working while Jasper gets his education, so we're taking turns in the risk department. Oh, yeah, Jasper is working in the summer right now. He'll be going back to class in September. Wow, Russell looks really good right now. Thank you. I'm trying. Ultra fluffy ears. Yeah. These drawings should be put in a museum. That's very kind of you, but I don't think they're quite at museum worthy. But we're getting there. It's a very good drawing exercise for me. I was feeling rusty. I want to pick Russell up and kiss him on the forehead. quickly look up, just so I don't draw the exact same hood shape I draw every single time I need to draw a hood. Just gonna quickly look up the reference photo to see what I can find. Ah, this one looks good. Okay. Okay, tension would be coming from this point, so the fabric should kind of fall outwards like this. And then this. Bruh, I was wondering who you were till I quickly saw the Snake I Like Bugs short animation video. Duh, you're probably my new inspiration pro, lol. By the way, hello. Hello. Okay. Yeah, that looks like a pretty good hood, I would say. See that color here. And this come up. And this fabric should kind of bunch like this. Something like this. And we'll give this a little. Boy, if that ain't the best wolf drawing I've seen in digital history, I don't know what it is. What the... so I am drawing like a little fox guy right now, but I can see why you would think he's a wolf. Yeah, there is a wolf on the other side. Maybe add whiskers to make... Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Something like that. I think I also need to... I think this ear needs to be just a little bit bigger. This just margin. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. Yeah, I've not seen this sort of style yet, and it's looking really good. Thank you. I'm trying to do similar to like the Redwall art style, the like classic book cover illustrations. It is a little hard because like they're entirely rodent characters, or mostly rodent characters, so like I don't exactly have a deer to work off of. There are some foxes that I could find, but they weren't drawn like standing up like this. They were drawn on all fours like a regular fox. So I haven't seen a realistic wrestle yet, so this is a new one. Ever thought of making your own pilot? Yeah, I mean right now we're mostly working on the webcomic. That's not a good hand, paw, whatever, but that's okay for now. Comic, yes, I'll make sure to remember the T-Twin. Yeah, so there's a webcomic on Webtoon. There's a link in our bio. It makes it a bit easier to find. Classic bio link, you can never go wrong with that. You got it. We're currently on only chapter 7. We're on a short break from posting the comic right now. Bro, it's genuinely unbelievable how good this art is, especially recent comic panels. You can see your improvement over time throughout the comic. Yeah, the issue is when I started the comic, I didn't think anyone was actually gonna read it. Because I thought it would be similar to my Misadventures of Fia one and just not get any attention, so I wasn't putting my full effort into it. Eventually I'm gonna go back and update the art in the first few chapters, but that's not a priority right now. Just a chapter 1 is good, bro. What's the hail you mean? Only you're a monster for that, bro. Yeah, well, the art gets better throughout. Thankfully. I'm not super happy with any of these legs, but I haven't drawn legs like this in a really long time, so they're okay for now. Does the world around you inspire your art? You live in a very northern location, and I notice that your art carries a sort of rustic vibe to it. I mean, like, the environment that they live in, and like the trees and everything, I mean, they're very cartoonish. They definitely, like, the forests don't look realistic. But like, I grew up in the woods, so I definitely base the woods I draw off of that. Yeah, we were talking about that Russell was a very sharp character in his first version. Dude, the original version I did of Russell was like... It was like a sassy, smoking fox guy that I used to doodle in my homework. I look kind of like... He was very exaggerated too. It was something like this. I think the first sketch I did. I'll have to find it again. I know I have it somewhere. It was something like this. Leg crossed over, I think. Because both Hazel and Russell were just like little cartoon guys I would doodle on the edge of my homework. So he's probably changed the most. You have a few concept sketches on your competition submission? Huh. Yeah, I drew him a lot sharper originally. But like the art style in general is very like rounded, which is why I kind of changed him over time. Yeah, I was saying his eyes gave a gendered character vibe for me. He looked like a sassy ant, but he was also a guy. That's the vibe. Pattern real quick. And this is just all that. Something like that. I don't think we see a ton of Hazels. Let's see this here. Oh, I guess I should get first spots. Making them a bit subtler is the best move. So let's try and follow the shape of her eye a little bit more. So little one here, and two kind of thin ones there, and a little circle in the corner. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, and now the one I've been dreading. Specifically just because he's been harder to draw and his armor is a pain. I think maybe if I turn the canvas a bit. No, that's a bad idea. I shouldn't do that. Try to draw the Graycove characters without lifting the pencil. That is a drawing exercise we did in college. You would have to draw like a still life and not lift your pencil. And try not to you don't like go back and like trace over lines like that. So if you had to follow the same route, you'd put it like next to it like this. Griff is the hardest of the three to draw. Oh, in my opinion, the hardest of the three to draw. Yeah, yes and no. He's basically just one big rectangle. Like body shape wise. I think Hazel's the easiest, but that might just be because I draw her the most. I just looked at it, the concept Russell looks quite a bit different. I like it though, it looks like it'd be professional fan art or fan art commission of the current Russell. Well, that's good. Good to hear. First thing I noticed about first Russell design was the color of his limbs dissolved like a gradient into his torso color. Yeah, so when I first started, I did the same thing with with Hazel's hooves, but like I would draw them in, ignore how terrible this looks, and then I would do like this over top, and then I would also color underneath it, and now I only do that to their noses. And not every character's nose, but like I do that to Hazel and Griffin Russell's nose. I don't know, I did that. Old Russell looks like he mocks people in a high-pitched voice. Images best I can, and hope for the best. I don't know if I did it in the concept sketches or not. I think I did it in the first chapter. They just look a little bit darker because I would draw them like I would sketch over like this and then also fill in underneath. So it just made them a little bit darker. Random question, it is fine if I ask, what is your advice for people who want to practice drawing as good as you? It kind of depends on what it is that you want to draw. The best advice that I ever got was to start with drawing realistically, because if you can draw realism, you can translate that into anything. So like learning how to draw anatomy and realistic people and faces and hands and just everything helps a ton when it comes to drawing cartoons, because if something looks wrong with the anatomy, it's easier for you to spot. Even if you are just doing like rubber hose style of like level of cartoon. I think it was not 5 points. Yeah. Right, posture check, thank you. So yeah. Anatomy is a good place to start. There are lots of free resources out there for learning how to draw anatomy. My favorite that I talk about a lot is Line of Action, which is a website where you can find models and people who pose for art, and like there are clothed and unclothed versions, and like you can decide if you want to just be drawing women or be drawing men, age ranges, stuff like that, and they have different timers and stuff that you can set up, because doing time drawings can be a really good way to practice. Oh, that doesn't make sense. My back feels so bad right now. I need the medieval stretchy torture thing. Yeah, I feel that, bro. I'm hating Griff's head right now. I am going to, I think, change the pose entirely, because there's something about it that's just not sitting right with me. So I'm not going to delete the rough sketch that I have, but I am going to just separate it. And try something else on top really quickly. And I'm just gonna try and, I think having him look out would be better. So I'm gonna try that first. So just bear with me for a minute here. Liking that pose a little bit better. Let me just quickly find a reference photo of an actual wolf so that I'm not guessing at anything. hate how many AI photos come up. It's so frustrating. Okay. This one should be good. I made Russell, my body needs nourishment after our hike. I'm just a little fox. I don't care if it's inaccurate. It's funny to write. Okay. Okay, I think this is looking a bit better. What do you guys think? Looks great, looks cute, puppy Griff. No, I'm joking, that art is majestic, lol. Nice. Good to know. Be a bit fluffier up here. Okay, and then I think I need to move this just a smidgen forward. Yeah, I think that's better. Looking at his armor. Where did I put that? There it is. Your griff with like a metal like neck piece that comes around that looks like it connects to his like shoulder plate, but I don't know how I would draw that in this perspective without it looking like really messed up, so I'm just removing that entirely for this. I do really like the new Griff head pose. Yeah, me too. The other one just looked really awkward. If Luke were here, was here, he'd be jazzed. Yeah. I'm sure he'll watch the stream later, or at least just take a look to see what the art was. Okay, that was some stripes like so. What time will this stream probably end? Probably at 9:30 like usual. So it's about 9 for us now, it's 8:50. It's about 40 more minutes, so I don't think we're gonna get to coloring today, but we might continue this piece in a future stream. Might not make it getting EP. Fair enough. I like this thing. It looks like it wraps all the way around. 8:50, 2 hours apart, I'm 2 hours ahead, lol. Fair enough. I feel like I always fall asleep in these streams. Can't help it, Marshall has such a relaxing voice. Yeah, nothing I can do about that, sorry pal. A lot of people have said that and I don't disagree. Yeah. Not the first time I've gotten that feedback. I think I was very surprised. I mean, I was surprised the first time I got that as feedback. I was working at a store and I had talked to someone on the phone and they came into the store and they said I talked to the person with the very soft voice, and like we pulled up the customer information so I knew that they had been talking to me. I guess I just didn't. I don't really think about my voice, and I don't listen back to these streams. Or if I do watch them back because I need to like find something, then I usually mute it. You sound like a 400-year-old smoker vampire, actually. Don't tell them my secrets. You're hard AF, bruv. Thanks. I think I was more shocked by like the customer telling me that I have a soft voice because like when I'm talking here, I'm talking in like a very monotone, Jesus, flat kind of voice. But when I'm at work, it's usually like a customer service voice. So it's very like peppy and overly happy so that people think you're friendly. Which I didn't view as like a soft voice, I guess. Wait, Marshall's 400 when Jasper's only 17. Isn't that illegal? I only look 17. I'm actually also 400. Sorry, bro, but even in this stream, you still got a soft voice, lol. Yeah, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to speak abrasively. I don't think I've ever heard you above this volume, but you said drunk you is very loud, so is that like normal volume? No, drunk me is a yeller, I think. And also very hyper apparently, because my brother just got married and we were doing shots from very early on in the day, so it was a long day. And I get very silly when I drink, and loud. Silly, yes. Loud, not really. Okay, well, when I'm drinking, I guess I feel like I'm being loud. When was the last time you ate a beer? Okay, looks like I included lines. the RPG will be next week. Yeah, get excited. I think so. We're still waiting for Crispy to send us the game file. I don't know if Crispy's still here. Because we need, and like we let him know we need a certain amount of time to like prepare for it, and part of that is getting the file. He says Saturday/Sunday. Oh, okay. So we might be streaming the game next week. For this thing, it looks like the shape I did was like a swoop up, and then it kind of flattens out. Something like this. I had the pleasure of seeing the alpha playthrough in a stream of his. It was quite captivating. Nice. That's good to hear. Should be a fun time. Your and your channel are so great. Thank you. Marshall, should Russell and Griff's paws have claws? I mean, they definitely should in this. Normally, so in the comic, normally I draw Griff with claws. I usually do not draw Russell with claws. But in this context, they should have some, at least little itty bitty ones. I don't know how he would be holding on to this, but it's fine. I'll look up some reference later to make this look a bit better, but this is fine for now. Imagine a Tales from Graycove movie in the animation style of Fantastic Mr. Fox / Wes Anderson. Yeah, if Wes Anderson emailed me himself just being like, hey, can I turn Graycove into a movie? I would just give him full creative freedom. Because I love his movies so much. It's like, you know what? Go off. Do what you want to do. I have full faith in you. No matter what, it's gonna be beautiful. Wes Anderson Tales from Graycove would be legendary. It would, yeah. I don't think we have the level of luck to get him on board. Hi, I've been here the whole time. Hi, birds. Any news on the plushies? Are they at least moderately ethical? It does sound like they are. we sent an email back to the guy. We haven't gotten any news quite yet on like next steps. We're still waiting. So it's probably if we do have a like plush come out from these guys, it's probably not going to be for quite a while because I think there's a lot of steps involved before we get to that stage. An interesting opportunity nonetheless. Yeah, it could be cool. And like we're nervous that we wouldn't be able to get enough, like the 100 sales that we would need for them to get into production, but just the fact that he reached out to us is very cool. Getting tired when I stay awake for stream. You only got 25 more minutes. You can do it. Definitely. Oh yeah, I did a bad job on this. I just looked up an actual wolf leg. That's okay. We did our best. We'll just have it and out up here instead. This. Marshall, I've seen a community make a brand new character with less than 100k followers and they hit 100 sales on their plush. They were a non-profit, but I really think people would like your 1 out of 2. And like we do have like a pretty large following. Shorts and comic enough to purchase a Hazel? Yeah. Marshall, if there were a pre-made Razel plush or Russell plush, I'd be the first to buy it and drop quite a pretty penny on it. Yeah, it would just be Hazel, I think. And like maybe that would open the door to do other ones in the future. I'm not really sure yet. Our streams only have like 15 viewers. Yeah, so that's kind of... And like some of our shorts get like significantly less views than we have subscribers, so it's kind of hard to say how many sales we would get. So yeah, that's just the tricky part, unfortunately. Works for now, I guess. I'm gonna have to make some edits later, I think, but that's okay. Should probably actually find a picture of his axe. I haven't drawn it in quite a while. Marshall, do you think you should make a YouTube short advertising the comic? I know people can check your bio to see the comic, but a lot of your audience probably doesn't think to do that. We do get a surprising amount of comments being like, what do you mean that there's a comic? I've never seen the comic. So it's probably a good idea. And I should probably do that. And I did see another artist who does a similar thing to me where like they make shorts about their comic that they post on the side. Made a really funny short about that I could potentially use the audio from to make something similar without hopefully completely ripping them off. Where do I even show his axe? Chapter 3? Yup, there it is. I'm gonna be real, the Discord is rather stagnant right now. We capped out like 22, not counting the voice actors. Fair enough. If Graycove ever becomes very popular, hope the OGs are remembered. That's fair. Like this shape. The picture I have doesn't show the entirety of it. The stream gets a loyal few birds. There's probably around 10 people who regularly interact with the Discord, and they're mostly the same people in the stream on a weekly basis. Yeah, and that's the thing. If it's only the like 10 to 20 people who are in the Discord and like attend the streams, that's not going to be enough to get them the plushes made. But maybe, and if we get the opportunity, we'll try and we'll see how it goes. Is mostly behind him, but we'll see part of it. I'll make it a little bit big for the drama. We're gonna pretend that the part that sticks out is just like behind his back. Definitely not stabbing him. People can barely find the comic link in the description of every single short ever, let alone expecting them to fork over $30. Yeah, it's a fair point. Well, that's all of them sketched out. We have about 15 minutes left, so I'm just gonna quickly throw down some background color and play around with these watercolor. Oh wait, no. I forgot to import them. Give me a second to find them. I think it was this one. Yes, there we go. Okay. One of the brushes was fantastic. What drawing software is this? This is Adobe Photoshop. Not that one. Some of them are extremely laggy, which is annoying. As you can see, because I'm not drawing at all and it's still catching up. Oh my god. I should have done a shorter brush stroke. Obviously, that's on me. Oh my god, it's still going. This is awful. I don't know why some of the brushes are so laggy. Oh my god, it's still going. I thought it was done. This would be a beautiful brush, like, look at this effect. There we go. Oh my god. Sorry folks, that was horrible. Okay, I need to put all these old ones into a folder to get them out of my way. Put this on this. There we go. Let's try that again. Try a different one. Yep, that one's also leggy. Also leggy. It might be the size, but like I need the brush to be pretty large for what I want to do, so I just need to find one that works. That might not be too bad. Yeah, so it's definitely the size of the... Okay, we'll do something else instead then. We'll save those for smaller details. Okay. Yeah, so it's the size of the canvas that's causing the issue here. And that's fine. We will simply nope. Okay. Why is it? Oh, mode changed. I hate when it does that. Okay. I should probably do another round of cleanup sketching before I skip ahead to coloring, but me. We only have 10 more minutes in the stream, so I'll just play around with some of these watercolor brushes in the meantime. I'll be 999,999,999,999. Okay, that's a lot of 900s before I see the light of day for abortion and gay rights. Excuse me? Why does it keep doing that? Don't change to multiply, stay on normal. There we go. That's better. Oh, did we get cut off again? That is very annoying, and if it fixes itself and you can hear me say this later on, I apologize for us getting interrupted again, and goodbye.